Okay, so in this video I'm going to go over pretty much what happens when new users were to show up and want to start their own projects. So what they would do normally is obviously they would show up to the site, and I'm currently logged in with my example user, so I'll log out. And then they'd click register and bring up this nice little light box, and they'd put in their desired username and an email address, and then a password will be emailed to them. But to expedite things, we'll just skip this step. And we'll just use the user I've already created. The users also have the option to be able to log in with their Facebook or with their Twitter, which I find convenient. A lot of sites do that, so I'll log in. And then I'm now authenticated. So then, normally if a user wanted to start a project, they would just click the Submit Project. And then they have all these fields, and rather than filling them out, I'm going to actually just use a project I've already created as this user. So under My Account, the user will have the option to be able to edit one of their projects that they have currently running. And then we can just kind of go over all of these different fields. So let's just start here at the top. Most of these are pretty self-explanatory. The amount that they want. We're going to have the amount of time that it takes until they're done, so we can maybe set it to a later date. They have the rewards. The reward system allows them to kind of give the user an incentive to bid. I just set 3 rewards. Here's the categories. These are just some example categories that I created. We'll go over with you all the categories you think will be necessary for the site. The users don't have the options to create categories, so it's important that we make enough categories that they have, pretty much anything that they want to do will be covered inside of one of them. We have the option of nesting these between parent and child relationships. I'm going to make another video on actually how to create categories, so I'll go over that. And so we'll go back to the top here. We have the title for the project. It's called an example project. Featured image area, which is actually, if I open this up in another page, we can see the featured image here for it. It's actually just what shows there. Video URL. This is just a simple iframe code that can easily be grabbed from YouTube. This is super basic, works the same way on all websites. People should be fairly familiar with how this kind of thing works, but I'm going to make a video going over all this in depth once we launch the site, and I'll explain and show users how to actually get this content from a couple of larger video websites like Vimeo and YouTube. This summary area is the text that shows below the title. So we'll go down, and it's a basic WYSIWYG editor. What you see is what you get. It has the 2 styles. We have the visual style, where you have all of the different tools, basic text editing, add media, and then we have the text area, which is just pretty much just a kind of an HTML setup. It's fairly basic. Anybody who does lots of posting, all of the posting places usually have a WYSIWYG HTML-based editor, so that people can put their own styling in if they don't want to use the visual editor. But I'm assuming that most people are going to want to use the visual editor if they aren't familiar with HTML coding. We have a revisions area. That way, if someone maybe makes an update to it and they decide they want to roll back, they can click this and they can do that. The options for discussion, I haven't decided if I'm going to leave this on. This is something that maybe I want to discuss with you. If you want people to be able to talk about the project while it's going on, and then they can collect their funding down here. And that's yeah, that pretty much goes over all of this. Basic users won't have their projects actually published after clicking the button here. This would normally say Submit for Review, but I've actually set this one to Published for some testing that I was doing. So normally what would happen though is that they would click this and it wouldn't actually put it here. It would have to go into here. I'm logged in this other window, isn't it, Min? It would go into the projects area as pending and not as active. Right now it says that I'm editing it, but I'll just take control. So yeah, let's change this one. So this is how it would normally come in as pending review. And so it wouldn't be able to be seen. And so at this time, we would get a notification that there was a new project pending review, and then either you or whoever it is that you'll have do this can come inside of here, and then they can actually view the project. And they can look over just to make sure that, maybe that this video actually goes somewhere and that everything here is on the level. There's nothing that's offending to anyone, either in the text or in the images, and that the goal of the project is actually feasible. They didn't write that they need $1 million, anything like that. And then once they decide that this is good, then they can just actually go back, and then they can actually just publish the project. And then now it'll immediately be able to be viewed by users who show up to the site in the recent projects area. And so then that should be good. So yeah, I think that covers everything for this. If you have any questions or input about anything, just please let me know.